Welcome back to part 2 of my conversation with manifestation coach Mollie Sommer. Today in part 2, we're going to unravel the secrets of overcoming those feelings of being stuck and embracing purpose, regardless of your age. So get ready to transform your perspective and step into a life of authenticity and empowerment. Get ready for a dose of inspiration and wisdom. Are you in a new season of your life? Are you stuck and searching for clarity so you can make a career change? Do you just need the courage to switch careers? Are you ready to follow God's plan for your career? Welcome to Choose Your Next Yes. Hi, Kindred. I'm Mel, a career transition coach, mom of grown-ups, coffee lover, and God girl. I've had a lot of big life changes, and I haven't always been clear about God's plan for me. This led to stress and anxiety and a lack of clarity and courage to make a career move. I finally started listening to God's voice to find clarity and peace and stopped being scared to make a move and achieve my career transition goals. Now, my mission is to help you learn to listen to God's voice and know when to say yes to the career you've always wanted and no to everything else. Let me show you how to clarify your purpose and find courage to pursue your personal and professional goals in your midlife and beyond. Throw down your self-doubt, dust off your dreams, Kindred. It's time to reset and refine and reclaim the woman you once aspired to be.
One of my favorite quotes from Abraham Hicks is that any forward momentum taken from lack or destabilization will only lead to more lack and destabilization.
Mm-hmm. Talk to my women about what they can do to get where they need to be and get rid of those limiting beliefs and be in alignment, walk with purpose.
Well, I love it. As we're doing this, the clock just turned to 3:33, which of course is a divine number. So the small steps that you can start taking are focusing on what is going well, focusing on what feels good. That is one of the biggest shifts that you can create, because where your energy goes, the focus grows. If you are focusing on what's missing in your life or what isn't working in your life, you're just going to attract more of it.
Yes.
And so focusing on being grateful for the things you really feel gratitude for. Don't try and force gratitude. Be grateful for the things you love, your children, your home, your dog, the food in your fridge, whatever it is, as long as you can feel that feeling of gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
And then just start looking for positive aspects in your life, right? Things that bring you that sense of joy. And set yourself up so that's what you're doing every single day as you start your day. The first 15 minutes of your day is really, really beautiful time where your brain is still in sleep mode in the delta brain waves before it starts thinking about, oh, I got to get the kids to school and I got to do this for work, before it starts changing its brain waves, so that you can really anchor in the feeling and the vibration of feeling good. And so I do this stuff before I even open my eyes in the morning. I just lie in my bed and lying in my bed feels really good. The light coming through the window feels really good. The birds singing outside feels really good. And I just do that for 15 minutes. And the more you do it, you attract more good feeling thoughts. And it just builds momentum, right?
Yes.
And so that's one thing that you can start doing that tomorrow. And you will start noticing a difference. And then moving towards or moving away from things that feel out of alignment. That means your relationships. That means things on your to-do list. That means, friends that take more than they give, right? You are ultimately responsible for everything in your life, and you create your life based on your perceptions and how you are viewing the world. So if you're viewing the world, and we all know this saying, if you see the world as a glass half empty, you're going to experience half empty things.
Yes.
Right? Versus if you are experiencing through a glass half full or rose-colored glasses, or just walking around feeling and choosing to feel good on any given day, you're going to experience a completely different reality.
And one of the things that I have told my ladies to do is every day write down 10 things that you're grateful for that day. The more that you write those things, the more you really do come from a place of gratitude, and you start to find gratitude and thankfulness in those things that you didn't even think of before. Even like just having that comfortable bed to lay in, or a day where it's sunshiny. Or for me, there are certain days when I love it when it's just rainy and you can sit on the couch with your blanket and watch movies. And that is a day where I find thanks, because it gives me a chance for my brain to calm down and rest. And you don't have that expectation to get out and do stuff or anything like that. So anything, like you said, that feels good to me, but that may not feel good to someone else, but somebody else can find that feeling in something else. So you really have to start looking and be very mindful of that thankfulness. So if you're not looking for thankfulness, you may not find it.
Absolutely. And making sure that your gratitude isn't transactional, right? Like, when you go in a building and somebody opens the door for you and you just say, oh, thanks, and you keep going on your day, right? Like that's transactional gratitude. You don't really feel the gratitude, right? And it really is all about the feelings. So one of the things I love doing in my own practice, and I teach this to my clients, is doing a rampage of appreciation. And that it's literally just being grateful and thankful for everything in your home. Like, like I'm grateful for the roof over my head. I'm grateful for all these books. I'm grateful that I was able to buy that calendar. I'm grateful that my dog is lying there. I'm grateful that my kids are in their rooms. I'm grateful for the food in my fridge. And you just keep going and going and going and going and going until you fill up an entire page, and like just scribble it out. It doesn't have to be pretty, right? But we go through the day so often and through life, and our brain sorts out things that aren't quote unquote necessary. Because if our brain was taking in all of the sensations and all of the information it was getting all the time, we would be in overload.
Right. Exactly.
Right? And so there's all these things in our environment that we just pass by and we take for granted. And when we do a rampage of appreciation, we bring it back into consciousness. And we can really see that in any given moment, we have so much to be grateful for. And we are safe in the moment. There's nothing to fear in the moment. So when you're feeling overwhelmed, when you're feeling anxious, when you're, worrying about what has to be done a week from now, come back into that present moment and be grateful.
So when I'm going to, I'm not working now because God has made it to where I can work from home now. But when I was still driving into the city, if I was late because of traffic, or I got tied up here at the house and I didn't get out quite as quickly as I wanted to, and I was running a few minutes late, that is anxiety inducing for me because I do not like to be late. So I started noticing that there were times that I would get to the light and it would be green and I would go straight through it and there would be no traffic. And I was like, thanks, God. That was awesome. And then I would go to the next light and it would be the same way. And all the way to work, everything just was like, he cleared the path for me to get there. So I didn't have that anxiety. And I really started being cognizant of, God did that for you. You need to be thankful for that. And so I do. Like if I'm driving somewhere and the light is in my favor, I'm like, oh, thank you, Lord, for that. That kind of stuff. So even those things, it doesn't even have to be at your home. To be really thankful about those things and really cognizant of your surroundings and what's happening for you, not to you.
Oh, absolutely. Everything is happening for you. I would even say that if you were anxious on the way to work and you got a red light, that red light is for you. It's not just the green lights.
Exactly.
You're always exactly where you are meant to be.
Exactly.
God is always giving you exactly what you need in that moment.
Exactly. And I tell my kids that, especially, they get upset. Well, this happened or this happened. Well, you know what? You were late, but guess what? Maybe God saved you from a wreck or something happening that you didn't know was down the road, and you not being there at that particular spot at that particular moment saved you from something.
Absolutely.
And so we always have to really think about those things too.
Yeah. And it's a lesson to be present, right? You are always, always, always exactly where you're meant to be, even because time is an illusion. Time is a construct of the third dimensional human mind. It is not in nature. It is not a natural thing. And so being late is not a real thing, because we're always on time. Right. And so it's a reminder to just be present and be appreciative of being where you are, and just allowing yourself to flow, no matter what that is.
I like it. It's good stuff. As we're thinking about my midlife women, what's some really good advice that you can give them? Like something that we can like really take home and think about and move forward with at the end of this episode?
Well, I think actually time is a great segue, because I think, and as a midlife woman myself, we have these fears that we're going to run out of time.
Yes.
And that it's too late to start living our purpose, and that we're closer to the end than we are to the beginning, right?
Yes.
And that is just hogwash.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
It's a judgment of the ego. It's a judgment of our lower fearful self. And it's an illusion, because we are always exactly where we are. If you are starting at midlife and you're like, I am starting from day one right now, following my divine path, following my purpose, it's exactly unfolding as it should be unfolding. There is no wrong way.
Yes.
And so start where you are, follow your curiosity, take inspired action, and allow God to lead you in the direction of your life. Surrender to it, and it will be absolutely amazing.
And I think when you said that, we feel like we're at the end of our life and we can't do anything because we're too old or whatever. I think about some of the people in the Bible that they didn't walk in their actual purpose, what God created them for, until they were much older. And I'm thinking of Abraham and Sarah. And
yes,
I considered having a baby a few years ago, and I'm like, I don't have anything in me to even possibly do that. And I was like much younger. Yeah. She's like 90 something when she has a baby. And
exactly.
Like you said, age is just a number.
Absolutely.
And if you think you're old, you're old. But if you think you're young, then live it.
Absolutely.
Live
and when you're aligned with life's purpose, there is no such thing as retirement. It's not a working until a certain age and then doing something else. You are living your full life now. I love what I do. I don't feel like I work a single day ever, because I am always in flow. I am always passionate. I am always in my zone of genius, doing what I love. And I will be doing this until the day I die. And it's only going to get better.
Yes. And sometimes I feel like people think I have to work until I can retire. Well, do you really want to just work until you can retire? And yes, maybe you want to get to a place where you can travel or do whatever. But like you said, people say life is a journey and you get to your destination. No, you don't get to a destination. You never get to a destination, because God always has something else for you to do. Absolutely. And you will never stop learning. You will never stop growing until you literally are not here to do that.
Exactly. The last breath.
Exactly. I love it. This was great. This was great. Tell my audience, my ladies, how they can connect with you.
Yeah, you can find me at molliesommer.com, or you can find me on Instagram at Mollie C. Sommer.
Wonderful. And I will have that in the show notes. And I was looking at your webpage earlier, And is there something on there about you doing stuff with dogs?
Yes.
Like a dog therapist?
So before, in my past life, I used to be an animal health technologist and dog behavioralist. So that's what I was doing before I became a coach.
That is so exciting.
I mean, I know. And so when you are on your divine path, when you're on your purposeful path, sometimes it's not about going from a bad life, quote unquote, bad life to a good life. It's going from one life to an aligned life.
Yes.
I had a great job. I got to play with puppies and dogs all day. And I got to be hiking in the forest every day. And just like, I loved my job, but I was miserable in my life. I felt like I was settling. I felt like there was something else out there for me. I wasn't using my creativity. It wasn't aligned with who I am. And so I started listening to my heart, and my heart took me from one step to the next. Yes. And it's just become bliss.
And I think I would love to like leave my ladies with this thought that your job that you have right now may be the job that you've settled for. And if you are truly unhappy and you wake up every day, like you said, you don't want to go to work, or you are not joyous because that's not what God created you to do. You're doing something else and you think that's what it is. Then you need to like really reevaluate and really start looking for what it is that will bring you into alignment with God and fill your cup so you can fill others' cups and really get you in that place of walking in your purpose. And I think we feel like sometimes, we have a great job and we make a lot of money and we can't leave that. We've got to have health insurance and all of the things, and God will provide a way.
Absolutely.
And he has done that for me. And so I stepped away from education the way that I've always known education. And I'm still doing education. It's just in a different way. Absolutely. Because I am passionate about being an educator. I just was done with that part of education, being in that place in like public education. And Absolutely. So just because you love something, it may not be the exact thing. So I still love education, but he's given me a different path. Yeah. If you completely do not want to go to work, then you need to be looking and listening to him, because he's telling you something and you need to be searching for what that is. And he's Absolutely. Preparing you for that next thing. So, yeah. And if it's, what's it called? I keep saying dog therapist, but that's not it.
No, behavioralist, dog behavioralist.
Dog behavioralist. Yes. If that is your thing, which my daughter-in-law, that would be her thing. She is all about the animals. And so she would love that. But
yeah. No, I 100% agree. And skills are transferable, right?
Yes.
I became a coach because I would go into somebody's house and I would look at their dog and I would say, I can fix this dog in 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. But the dog really isn't the problem.
Right.
You are the problem.
Yes.
The problem is that you are anxious. The problem is that you aren't living peacefully. You aren't aligned with who you are.
Yes.
And that is what the issue is.
Mm-hmm.
And until you fix who you are and the energy you are exuding in your mm-hmm. life, the dog is going to be out of sync.
Yes. And I totally believe that. And I don't know how we got on the whole dog thing. Well, I kind of do, but I was thinking, as I was reading your page, I was thinking about my mom and her dog. My mom passed away in October, but she got a dog that she's always had inside dogs. And my mom is very high. She was always high energy, exuded that high energy and that craziness a lot. And the dog would bark and bark and bark all the time. Mm-hmm. After my mom passed away, I could tell the dog was grieving. She missed my mom. But now that my mom's been gone a little while, I can tell a difference in her demeanor because my dad is completely the opposite of my mom. He is even all the time. He never shows any energy or excitement about things. I mean, he'll laugh and stuff, but he's so calm all the time. And I think that dog is taking that energy. We also, as people, I think we give each other energy, and whether it's positive or negative energy. And so check yourself and see what kind of energy you're putting off. Are you negative all the time? Because people don't want to be around negative Nellies all the time. Make sure that you are that positive person and you are looking for that joy and that thankfulness in things, so you can be a cup half full rather than a cup half empty person.
Absolutely. And I think that's, the perfect place to close, because that's exactly where we started.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for coming on the show. I appreciate it so much. It has been a pleasure. And I love the dog conversation because I love dogs, and I'm like my daughter-in-law. I really love animals too. So
beautiful. Thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. And again, I will have all of Mollie's information in the show notes, so you will have no trouble finding her and connecting with her. Thank you all so much for joining us today, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.